lots of brought lots of gear tonight. Lots of blankets, your blocks if you have them. If you don't have blocks, you can always substitute those out for books and
Collin,
a chair. Yes.
I'm so sorry. The recording didn't catch the beginning of your list. Will you please repeat the list just for people who are watching later?
Yeah. So the list for what gear is needed.
Yes, please.
Okay. So tonight, the gear you'll need is either bolsters or lots and lots and lots of pillows. You'll need blankets, at minimum 2, or towels, thick towels. We're using blocks as well. And if you would like an eye pillow or something to cover the eyes, you can use that. And then if you are not near a wall, you can use a chair for one of our poses. So if you're not near a wall tonight, you can use a chair and substitute, or if you're near a couch that's pretty propped up off the ground, at least 2 to 3 feet, you can always use that as well.
So Collin, my household goods haven't arrived yet, so I have no chairs.
Would the wall behind you work okay, Loretta?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Loretta, quick question. Did you have like a pillow or a bolster tonight?
I'm sitting on a bolster and I have a pillow as well.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you. All right. All right. So I'm going to make my way to the mat and we will go ahead and get started. So we're going to start by using our bolster or our pillows. Loretta, I'm going to go ahead and mute you if that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to make my way back to my mat. And again, tonight's class theme is geared towards the difference between expectations and intentions. And as we move through this evening, I'll be kind of talking about the difference between the two. And at the end of the class, I'll be giving you a journal prompt that talks more about that. So starting tonight, we'll be starting in a recline pronation position. So grabbing our blankets or our bolster, we'll want to slide that bolster or blankets and pillows to the back of the mat, and then placing the knees on the outside of your bolster. You're going to slide your body until your navel is almost at the edge of your bolster or your pillows and blankets. Once you come here, just lower yourself down to the ground so the edge of your navel is right at the edge of your pillows, blankets, or bolster. Straightening your legs out and then walking the hands out. Just letting the belly sink onto your gear. Once you lower down, you can either take one of your pillows or a blanket and lay that underneath the head, or using your hands stacked on top of one another. And just allow the body to sink into your gear, whatever you're using tonight. And if this is too much sensation, you can always remove the bolster if you're using it and use a pillow instead. Pillows and blankets Maybe just using a blanket. But what we're aiming for here is putting that pressure on the abdominal area. As we settle in and let go of any tension through the body. And as you begin to find your breath, let your inhales fill up all the way through the belly as the belly presses against your gear. And just slowly release that back through your nose. Begin to just bring some awareness to the space around you. Notice any noise, but not naming the noises. Letting go of any pressure you feel in the body, and just allowing the body to rest. And again, if at any point the sensation becomes uncomfortable for you, allow yourself to adjust, maybe move the props and just come flat onto the floor or your mat. Finding your breath as you fully relax the body. And throughout tonight's practice tonight, I'll be setting you up into the poses, offering you any adjustments or any placements of your gear, and then I'll remain quiet for the remainder of that pose. begin to breathe deeply into the belly. And as you're breathing, sliding the hands back towards the sides of the chest and slowly pressing yourself up into a tabletop position. Going slow here and removing the bolster from between your legs. Sitting back onto your heels. Where the hands come to the thighs. Moving into our next pose, we're going to take our bolster, our blankets, or pillows, and we're going to turn them lengthwise. So what I mean by lengthwise, you want the pillows or bolster to be in line with the top of your mat. So to your body, they're perpendicular, not parallel. So we'll go ahead and place our bolster or pillows in the middle of our mat. And we're going to be moving into a supported side body stretch. So before we get into the pose, grab your block and place the block at the top of your mat towards the side of the mat that you'll be resting your head towards. From here, lining up the left leg and the left hip that's touching the ground is going to be touching your bolster. From here, we'll slowly begin to lower the body down towards the mat. And it may feel a little weird at first, but we'll actually be using our block as a support for our head here. And if you would like, you can always pad your block with your blanket, maybe grabbing a blanket, placing that on the block, and lowering the head back down. Your right arm can go wherever it's comfortable, and the knees can either be stacked on top of one another, or maybe the right knee is just resting on the left leg or the left shin of the foot, whatever works for you. And in restorative, our goal is to allow the body to fully relax into the pose. So maybe grabbing a blanket or a pillow and placing that in between the legs. If this is too much sensation for the body, I invite you to maybe grab that pillow and place that pillow underneath the left side of the body. And just allow yourself to relax into the pose. And when we practice restorative, we're trying to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, the nervous system that allows us to stay calm. Typically during the day, we're operating on a sympathetic nervous system, that fight, flight, or freeze. Our Monday practice is geared more towards that sympathetic nervous system. In our restorative, we're just allowing the body to rest fully. Begin to lengthen the inhales and exhales as you allow the body to relax into this pose fully. Begin to take your right arm, placing that right arm onto the mat, pressing yourself up. Remember, in restorative, going as slow as possible. Trying not to raise the heart rate. From here, and just rotate onto the butt, and we're just going to go ahead and switch sides. So having that right hip now close to the edge of your bolster again. Slowly lowering yourself back down across your bolster or your pillows. Placing the arm in between the block and your bolster, pillows. Allowing the body to fully feel the support of the ground underneath it, and the head feeling that full support of the block. And as we settle into this posture, I'll talk a little bit about intentions. As our intention is an act or instance of determining mentally upon some action or result, your purpose or attitude towards the effect of oneself or the conduct. Thinking about your intention for not only this class, but the next 10 weeks that you have left, or even just yoga in general. What's the intention that you would like to set for yourself? And as we settle back into this pose again, reminding ourselves that we have our gear here to help us. It's okay to use gear. It's highly encouraged, especially in restorative. We want to allow the body to fully relax. A deep inhale to the nose as you place the left hand down to the floor, pressing yourself up, sliding that right arm back up. We'll meet into a seated position, moving into our next pose. For this next pose, you'll need 2 blocks or 1, depending on where your practice is. We'll be moving into what's called a supported deer pose. So I'm going to go ahead and move myself so you can kind of see if you need to. But what we're going to do is let's stack our blocks on the medium setting. So our medium setting is on its side, and that's lengthwise. And then taking our second block and placing it maybe about a foot behind it on its lowest setting. And you can always play around with this, whatever works for you. And then placing our blankets and our pillows or our pillows and our bolsters, creating almost like an angle that we can use to lay down on. Sliding our left hip first, so our left hip is going to be touching the edge of our blanket or our bolster. And our shin can be parallel the long edge of our mat here, of our left leg. Right leg, the shin parallel with the short edge, the back end of your mat. And oftentimes in this pose, I like to teach adding a little bit of extra support on my blanket or bolster before I lower myself down into this position. Always looking for a little bit of extra comfort here. And as we lower ourselves, we can take our hands out to each side of the mat, twisting our belly towards the bolster and just gently lowering the body, resting the head down with the cheek flat against the bolster. We're not trying to do a full twist here, so our right cheek is not facing, but our left cheek is resting on our bolster. And remembering our intention that we set for ourselves in the last pose. Thinking about those intentions and understanding the difference between an intention and an expectation. And that our expectations are our strong feelings, our hopes, beliefs that something will happen and that you will get something you want or something out of what you're aiming for. And that's not always true in our restorative practices. Our intention is to allow the body to just relax and rest. And all the chaos and all the crap that we deal with on a daily basis. And just allowing the body to just let itself be free. begin to bring some awareness back to the arms as you place your hands against the floor and slowly press yourself up. Rolling onto your butt here, the hands coming down the side, and just windshield wipering the legs, so letting them drop, the knees bent from side to side. We'll go ahead and move onto that next side. So bringing that right hip this time to the edge of your bolster with the shin parallel, the right shin, excuse me, parallel with the mat, the long edge of your mat. And that left shin parallel with the short end of your mat. Twist our bodies and twist our bellies towards our bolster and slowly lowering ourselves down until our right cheek rests against our bolster. Letting go of any tension in the body here. Letting go of any expectations you have of the outcome of this practice. And maybe finding 10% more relaxation somewhere in the body. Maybe it's the jaw, the neck, the arms. bringing some awareness back to the breath. Inhaling through the nose as you slide the hands to the outsides of the bolster or pillows. And begin to press yourself up off of your bolster slowly, taking your time. Coming up into a nice seated position. We're going to move to supported legs up the wall. So if you have your wall, I invite you to go ahead and bring yourself close to the wall. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. If you don't have a wall nearby, you can use a chair, you can use a couch, whatever you have close to you that will work. What we'll do is I'm going to turn so my back's towards you for a second so you all can kind of see how I'll set this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take either my left or right side of my hip closest to the wall or the chair. I'm going to lower myself down onto my back as I slide my legs up onto the wall or to my chair. If you're in the chair, you can just rest the backs of the calves onto the chair. If you're using that wall, placing the legs flat against the wall for some support. If you are using the wall, you can always take a pillow or a blanket and place that pillow or blanket underneath the hips for some added support. And again, it's okay if the legs are not completely flat against the wall. We're not looking to push anything or force anything. Just allowing the body to rest. And if at any point when you have your legs on the wall or in the chair that the feet begin to tingle or you feel any kind of tingling sensation through the legs, you can always just slide the legs down with the feet flat against the wall, bringing the knees in towards the chest, or sliding the legs down with the feet, soles of the feet touching and the hips falling out wide. The arms can come out to a T or wherever they're comfortable for your body. From here, if you do have that eye pillow or maybe a washcloth, you can place that over the eyes. And while you all are resting, I will be seated in a seated position. begin to bring your awareness back to the breath. Inhaling, allowing the belly to expand. And at your own pace, if you're on the wall, lowering the legs off of the side. If you're on your chair or using the couch, pressing yourself away from the couch or the chair. We'll move into our final resting pose of the evening, Shavasana. So with our backs flat to the mat, our legs extended long, the feet dropping out to the sides. If you would like, you can take your blanket and roll it up like you're rolling some delicious cinnamon rolls. Maybe placing that underneath the knees for some extra support. If you would like a pillow underneath the head, you can add that. And as always, if you would like to add an eye blanket or a washcloth over the eyes, I invite you to do that as well. And as we settle into Shavasana this evening, thinking about that intention that you would set for yourself. Maybe that intention was for tonight's practice. Maybe the intention was for the next 10 weeks. Repeating that intention in your mind as you feel the effects of tonight's practice. And as you're relaxing in Shavasana, I'll lead us through a very short body scan. We'll start at the head, relaxing the top of the head, relaxing the skin around the eyes, the skin around the forehead, relaxing the tongue and the jaw, relaxing the throat, relaxing the chest, relaxing the shoulders, the arms, relaxing the hands and the fingers, relaxing the chest, relaxing the belly, relaxing the hips, relaxing the thighs, relaxing the shins and the calves, relaxing the ankles, and relaxing the feet as you settle into Shavasana. Begin to bring some awareness back to your breath. Inhaling as you fill the belly up and slowly exhaling through the nose. Bringing the knees to the chest and rolling to one side of the body as you cradle the knees, placing one arm underneath the head in a fetal position. At your own pace, pressing into the floor, meeting in a seated position, maybe keeping the eyes closed. Bringing your palms together with the thumbs touching the middle of the chest. Breathing into our chest here. Reminding ourselves of the intention that we set for ourselves at the beginning of class. And giving gratitude to yourself for allowing yourself to be here tonight and showing up for yourself on the mat. Taking time out of your busy day to be here to take care of you. We'll bow to close our practice. And again, I thank you for joining me on this Thursday's restorative class. Thank you. So if anyone is interested in the journal prompt for this week, I know Mondays, I didn't say it until after everybody had gotten off. But today's journal prompt is what my definition of expectations versus intentions is. And we'll have class again on Monday. So Monday, we will be starting our first big rounds of Sun Salutations where we will be going, we will be trying for 15. So Monday, drink lots of water in preparation. So drink lots of water on Sunday, not day of. Bring your blocks, blankets, whatever gear you need to support yourself for Monday's class. And that is all I have. Oh, and class is at 5:30 on Monday.